Daily Broadside to 828. I bet vomiting in the mid 1800s was quite the spectacle. And I'm not talking about like in public. I'm talking about like if you wake up sick and throwing up in the middle of the night, which all of us do at some point in our lives. You know, maybe you had some bad mutton or some jerky and tater. I don't know what the hell they ate back then. But, you know, you get a little food poisoning or whatever. You think about it, man, like you're out on the plains of like Oklahoma and you're in like a 1-bedroom shack with like 7 other people. And, you know, you've got an outhouse, so it's not like you're going to make it to the toilet. And I say toilet, it's just a hole in the ground covered by a shed, you know, so that's going to be 100 yards away, so that's not an option. So you just vomit on hardwood floors that, you know, have no subfloor. It's just, you know, you can probably see down to the earth underneath the house of the vomits, like trickling through the floor joists, which are or the floor planks, which are probably not that, you know, really close because you're working with like rough sawn wood. And then you've got the fact that it's like maybe you make it outside and blah, you just throw up all over the porch. It's not like you can hook up a hose. There's no water, so you can't just hose it off, you know, like you know what we would do if we threw up on our porch, which I don't know. I've never woken up in the middle of the night and thought, got to get outside. But if I lived in a 1-bedroom shack that didn't have, you know, running water or a bathroom, maybe getting outside would be the best option. And maybe you make it out to the yard, which I would imagine is not, you know, the most lush grass. It's just, you know, dirt, like chickens everywhere. And so there's just, you know, beaten path where everybody's out running and playing and whatnot. But you throw up in that, it's not like you can hose that off. You're going to have to like throw some sawdust on it. I don't know where you would get sawdust, and it's not like you can get, you know, what's that crap that you put in like hamster bedding? And it's not like you go to Tractor Supply and get any kind of absorbent material or anything. And you know, if you throw up in your bed, I mean, what are you doing for the rest? I guess you're sleeping with the 7 other people, because that ain't getting clean tonight. You're going to put that in a wash basin with one of those, you know, those things you scrub, the washboard, I guess, you know. It's just not and here's the other thing. You ain't got Clorox wipes. You don't have, you know, you got to heat up some water to sterilize stuff. I guess you're using like some kind of lye. I don't even know, because soap doesn't really exist. I mean, it exists, but it's not like you have it. It's not like you're going to the, what's it called? It starts with a B. I got brothel in my head, and that's not where you would get soap at all. That's not the cleanest place probably. But no, a bodega. It's not like you got a bodega around the corner. You can pop in and get some Ajax or some Dawn. All I'm saying is vomiting in the 1850s. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a win-win situation. It seems like a 2 or 3 day process before you get your house back in order. Between the smell, it's not like you got rubber gloves. Somebody's got to pick the clumpy vomit out and toss it out into the chicken yard. Maybe chickens eat vomit. Maybe they'd eat dried vomit. I don't know if chickens really eat wet food. But anyway, I'm just saying it's something to think about. We are more blessed than we know. Just the fact that we have Walmart bags, or, you know, any kind of, you know, plastic bag like that, rubber gloves, soap, and running water, hot water at our disposal. We can get rid of any problem we have in life for the most part. You know, you can clean up a lot of things and bag it and throw it away, whatever you got to do. But listen, I watched over the weekend. What is today? Wednesday. I've been a little busy. I've been like stupid busy, so I haven't really made a lot of these. But here's the deal. I watched Steel Magnolias. I don't know why, but I got to tell you a couple things I've noticed. Number one, Julia Roberts and Dolly Parton are the best actresses of all those people, right? Julia Roberts, I just can't get past. She's pretty when she doesn't smile, but as soon as like that wide mouth opens, it destroys her looks. But I mean, she's not like beautiful, but she's pretty. But then she smiles and she's like down to like a 3. Anyway, Dolly Parton, you know, I've only seen now that and 9 to 5, which I think 9 to 5 is a great movie. You should go watch it again. You'll find that this thing really holds up. It's a good movie. Although I did notice that I had to go back and look, because it looked like Lily Tomlin's Dodge that she drove in 9 to 5 was the same car that somebody else drove at the beginning. But one was like a 69, one was a 73, and they were slightly different models. Well, you know, back then that Dodge Chrysler would have like 17 cars that were all pretty much the same platform. They just had like a different door handle or something, maybe some different headlight bezels or something to change them up. But I'll say this, say that it wasn't true, but it did look similar. But then I got, so Dolly Parton, really good actress. You know, for what she is, you know, she plays the same kind of, you know, kiss my grits kind of character, it seems. But at any rate, it was not a good movie. I don't understand why anybody would A, list that as one of their favorite movies, or B, ever watch it again. And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, who is Olympia Dukakis? I've heard that name all my life, and I only know it because she was in Steel Magnolias. And I look her up on the Wikipedia. She was in, if I recall, 80 movies, 50 TV shows, and like 120 theater plays. And I'm like, what movie? 80 movies? Nobody's ever watched any other movie with Olympia Dukakis other than Steel Magnolias. And they only watched that once because it was not a good, I mean, it's a dumb story. You got a diabetic girl getting married and having a baby, and then, God, it was only 3 days ago. I can't remember. Did she die? No, she lived. And then the baby grew up. I hate on movies like the baby will be like an infant, and then like 10 minutes later it's like 7, you know, and they're acting like it's still an infant. Like, at any rate, I don't remember who dies. Did she die? I feel like, I don't know why I can't remember. It was Saturday night. But yeah, so nobody knows who Olympia Dukakis is. And I don't know what, you know, if you'd have asked me to bet my life savings, I'd have been like, oh, that movie's filmed in Georgia. It was Louisiana. I didn't know it was in the bayou, you know. It was, I could have sworn that would have been some kind of Georgia Peach type of movie. But that said, Wisa and, what was it, Demin? I can't remember what Sally Field's name was, but she was kind of a bitch. Which maybe that was, you know, that was what she was supposed to be. But all I'm saying is the names were a little, maybe that's why I didn't consider them Southern names, is because it was down in the bayou, and I'm not familiar with those. Maybe Wisa is a nice colloquial term for Louisa. I don't really know. But I will say this lastly, I dropped a tree in my yard. I got home, worked all day, and then I got home and I was like, I need to finish taking that tree down. And so I topped it out. It was like 40 something feet, and I had a lift a while back, and like a week or so ago, and I took the top of it out. And so yesterday I got to taking the rest of it. I dropped the rest of it and all. And I called my neighbor. I was like, hey man, I was like, you need any wood? He's like, yeah, I'll take what you got. I'm like, okay, because he burns wood. And for heat and air, I guess. And he's living in the 1850s. I don't know what happens at his house when he vomits, but no, he burns wood on a stove and all. I was like, I got you. And so I took my tractor. I didn't even use a bucket. Like, I still got to get a couple of the stumps out, the bigger trunk pieces. And there's not really stumps, because you only really have one stump, and the stump is when you've already got it gone. But I took all the big Donald Trump. The trunk pieces are still in the ground for the most part, but I took 6 loads with my pallet forks. I didn't even need the bucket. Scooped all that crap up and loaded and dumped it in his yard. He has the equivalent of like 7 million board feet of wood. He's not gonna, I called him, I was like, you won't be needing wood till at least 2027, because that's the kind of neighbor I am. But I will say this lastly, and I keep saying lastly, but it is lastly. It might have been the first time I said lastly, but I didn't think I did. But a tractor, if you don't have a tractor, move somewhere that requires you to need a tractor, because they are the greatest thing ever. You can pull engines, you can unload trucks. It's just awesome, the stuff I can do.